we come together this evening and ask to be blessed with your presence as we conduct the business of our community in Archer. May you provide us the peace to listen well, speak with civility, and discern in our decisions to result in what is best for all within Archer. As we strive for a better way, a better life, with all of its freedom, maybe we give thanks for your love for us as your children. May you protect and keep our men and women in uniform around the world, as well as all our responders, who in their duties provide for our freedom, safety, health, and well-being at home. Keep their families faithful and secure until their return home. In all this we pray, dear God. Guide our national and world leaders as they relentlessly strive to find resolutions and peace for all of our people. And as Max Lucado wrote in a book called Blessings, that you, God, are as creative as you are relentless. The same hand that sent manna to Israel sent Uzzah to his death. The same hand that set the children free from Israel also sent them captive to Babylon. Both kind and stern, tender and tough, faithfully firm, patiently urgent, eagerly tolerant, softly shouting, and gently thundering. And greater more are your words to us in Psalms chapter 81, verse 7. When you were in trouble, you called, and I saved you. I answered you with thunder. In your holy name we pray these things. Amen.
Amen.
Call this meeting to order at 6:32. First order of business is Pledge of Allegiance. If you would join us, please. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You can be seated. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda, Madam Alta?
No, Mayor, hope not from staff.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion for the adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
I have a motion
So
from
moved.
Vice Mayor Bailey.
A second.
I have a second from Commissioner Green. Any discussions? Any comments from the citizenry regarding the adoption of our agenda this evening? Hearing none, go to a vote. All those in favor of the adoption of the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Nays, like sign. Hearing none, motion carries 5-0. Next order is the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion for approval?
So moved.
A motion from Commissioner White to
A
approve,
second.
and a second from Commissioner Penny. Any discussion? I only have one item, if I may, on the, too much paperwork. Okay, March 24th, meeting minutes on page 2. Directly under item 2, public comment. Under the motion, it states Mayor Hope motion for the commission to approve any travel through the end of the year. Could we add into that, Mayor Hope pass the gavel to the vice mayor for just appropriate record keeping? Because in our strong mayor system, the mayor doesn't make.
Yes, sir. When I was typing, I'm like, he didn't pass the gavel, but, so I missed it. Okay, no, it's not that I don't believe you. Yes, I will.
Yeah, I had to think twice too, but I think I did before it got broken.
You did.
So, okay. All right, if we could just add that as just a scribble record note, I'd appreciate it. That's all I had. Anyone else? Anyone from the public regarding The consent agenda, any comments or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor of the consent agenda, state aye.
Aye.
Aye as well.
I said with the change.
With the amended, just scrivener change of, in item 2 on page 2
Aye.
24. Thank you. So sorry, madam. Nays, aye as well. Nays, like sign. Hearing none, motion's approved. Next order of business is our guest this evening. Agenda item 1, Pastor Thigpen from the Family Life Church of God, fee waiver request for April 19th Easter egg hunt at Maddox Park. Is he present?
Mayor Hope, he's
Yeah.
not here. He asked if I could speak to it, so I told him I was fine with
Okay.
that.
Okay.
It's just their annual Easter egg hunt for the whole community.
Okay.
So they're just asking if we could waive the fees for the use of Maddox Park. So I believe it's similar to what they've done in the past.
It's open to the community?
Yes, sir, yes. Yes.
So I make a motion that we approve the fee waiver for the community Easter egg hunt.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the dais? Any comments or questions, or comments from our constituents in the audience this evening? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote. All those in favor of Pastor Thigpen, the Family Life Church of God fee waiver request for April 19th in the community Easter egg hunt at Maddox Park, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Nays, like sign. Hearing none, motion carries 5-0. Public announcements. Constituents, anyone in the public have anything to announce?
Hello, Gene Arnold.
Hello.
Forgive me, I don't feel well today, so I'll be leaving right after this. I apologize, but it's not contagious or anything. It's an internal thing. Pastor's hand.
Make sure you get your payday on the way out. Your payday.
No wet naps or anything needed, but it was important that I be here because I wanted to support the commission. First of all, I'd like to thank all of y'all for being here tonight, especially after that last meeting. Thank you, Commissioner Penny. Thank you, Vice Mayor Bailey. Maybe it's me, but I'm starting to feel a resurgence in Archer. There's some optimism. I went to the farmer's market last Tuesday. I don't know if they keep track of this, but it seems like there were 40 or 50 people that were there at one time, participating and buying and just visiting. It was good stuff. Last Friday, I went to a community dinner hosted by Pastor Melissa and Brenda and her staff. Church was packed. Commissioner Penny was there. Queen Lizzie was there. It was a good time. Saturday morning, I went over and I saw Vice Mayor Bailey participating in the Keep Archer Beautiful. And as I was leaving, Commissioner Green showed up. And they were helping folks dispose of things they didn't want anymore. And that was really nice. So all this optimism has me feeling a bit spiritual. No one mentioned Easter. We're going to throw some Easter out there today. Matthew 28:6. He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. I mention that because that's probably the greatest comeback in the history of mankind, Jesus Christ. But we got a little comeback going on here in Archer. $13 million for a water grant. Let's take a victory lap. This is important. This is good stuff. Congrats to everyone involved. And I think Archer's going in a better direction than it has in a long time. So I want to leave you with that. And I hope that you all have a blessed and happy Easter. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Same to you, and feel better.
Don't forget to get a couple of your homemade paydays in the lobby back there. Remember,
I saw that. Very well done. Thank you all.
homemade. Anyone else with announcements? In the spirit of Easter, I will state that we are having a community sunrise service at Laurel Hill. It's kind of a tradition. Folks and some of my family say, why do you go to a cemetery for sunrise service on Easter? I said, what better place? I said, we're always on our toes because we never know the place or the time. But it starts, I think, around 7. Used to be daylight, so I think it's daylight 6:30 to 7 now. But 7 o'clock, certainly the service will begin. It's pretty short for those that have to go back to their home churches or whatever. But you all are all welcome. I know that the Bethlehem Presbyterian Church, the Archer United Methodist Church, and the Nazarene Church are 3 that I've heard that are going to be participating at. Others sometimes just show and sing. So it's a community event. So at the top of the hill of Laurel Hill Cemetery on Sunday at 7 a.m. Thank you.
I also have one announcement
Yes,
that
ma'am.
I'm working on, and that is for the National Day of Prayer. So, Pastor, now you hear what I'm going to call it.
He's got
But
us
it's
on a
for
roll, hasn't he?
yes, for National Day of Prayer here in Archer, and it's on a Sunday, so it will be at Maddox Park. I said around 4, but I'm going to try to contact all the pastors in the city and the surrounding area to see if they wanted at 3 or 4. And just have everybody come together and unite together for a National Day of Prayer in the city of Archer. I think this will probably be our first, I'm thinking. I usually participate with the ones with the Luttrell County Ministerial Alliance. We don't call it Ministerial Alliance. Pastors Association, something we call it. But we used to have a celebration every year with the Luttrell County Pastors Association. And matter of fact, they're having theirs on May 1st. If anybody's interested, I can get you some information. I think this year is at Greenhouse Church on May 1st. And so this year we want to do something in Archer. So I'll be in contact with all the pastors. I'm trying to get everybody information. And I want everybody to come out. Let's unite together in prayer.
And what day, or
It's May 4th. It's on a
May
Sunday.
4th?
Uh-huh. It's on a Sunday.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
I cannot believe that you think this is the first one. Your daddy did a couple of them.
You know what? We used to do one, but I don't think it was on the National Day of Prayer.
I don't know, but he did a
Yes,
statewide prayer.
we had them, and one of the other guys at my church, Deacon Mitchell, Gary Mitchell, used to put one on down at the Wilson Robinson Park. But I don't think it was like on National Day of Prayer, but we did have it with the community, yes, come together. So thank you for reminding me of that, though. Yeah, you are right, you are right.
Anyone else? Okay, moving on, public comment. Oh, I'm sorry. Announcements or comment? Announcements? Announcement. Those are good. Welcome. Thank you for
I'm
being
Lizzie
here.
Jenkins, and I want you all to know that I love Archer. I say that every time I talk about Archer, but I want you to know that March 20th, early morning, I drove to Tallahassee to meet with my District 22 Representative Chad Johnson. I did not tell him anything about Archer, just that I am from Archer. My purpose was Rosewood. However, he knew what was going on in Archer. I had absolutely nothing to do with the gift, okay, that we received. I just want you all to know that he is a nice person, okay, very welcoming, but he couldn't help me. But he couldn't help himself either because the deadline had passed. And I just want you all to know that we need to communicate with our constituents, wrong name probably. But anyway, another thing I want to say to you all, you know I'm a history buff. I came before this commission, not you all, 2019, and I asked the board, and I think, can't even think of your name.
It's Joan.
Joni. Joni was on the board at that time, and I asked for a support, a sponsorship for the plaque that's on they unanimously voted, and that plaque is still there representing my aunt. That's history. We can't change history. But I want to say also that what's his name? Hiccup?
Hit him. Hit 'em.
Hip Matters also got a plaque. I would like to see that plaque over there too. That's history. I would love to see.
It was hanging on the company until about 2 weeks ago, and the graciousness of the Arnold family, my wife spoke with Mrs. Arnold and asked of all the personal effects that were left behind in the building, because my wife had cancer and never entered back into the building, and many, many, many historical personal effects of the family were left inside. But that plaque was hanging outside, and she asked for that, and so Mary has that.
Do
for the
you
family
think
history,
if,
so.
may I talk to?
I'm sure when Mary
I just
passes,
wanted-
there'll be history given to the Archer
Okay.
Historical Society, but
Okay,
she had a very wonderful, gracious, conversation with Mrs. Arnold,
okay,
and she said, please ask Mr. Arnold if it's okay, and I'll quote unquote, I think it's like you women are from Venus, and I don't mean that from a sexual context, but she said, honey, you're talking to Miss Arnold. I'll give away what I want to give away. So,
Okay.
and she had some of the workers take it down, and it was at the business, and Mary went and retrieved it.
so
So,
may I say this in closing?
yes, ma'am.
Because Mr. Maddox and my grandfather were neighbors. Their property joined each
Yes,
other.
ma'am.
They were friends. And with his daughter, my grandfather's daughter plaque is there. I would love for that. Okay,
I'm sure someday it will be in our historical society.
thank you very much.
I
This is
can't.
my story.
I
and I'm
don't
sticking
own
to it.
Hit Maddox in the family, that's Mary's, but
I appreciate it.
It's in
I just wanted
safe-
to let you know.
yeah, it's in safe hands.
Oh, I know that.
It's hanging on one of our sun porches right now.
I
Thank
know
you.
that. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Jenkins. Anyone else with announcements before we go into comments? All right, it's comment period.
Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
I just thought about it.
That's
I'm
twice.
sorry.
Y'all are getting me tonight, boy.
I just thought about it, but we just did it. Tomorrow, the Archer Elementary Teacher of the Year will be honored. It will be her day. They just did it in the JCC meeting. The next day, the Employee of the Year will be honored. So if y'all see them out and about, say thank you.
Thank you very much. We have quite a gem of an elementary school, and we take it for granted, very much so. And all the staff that work there. Anyone else? Okay, moving on
Mr. Mayor, I would ask her, where they being honored?
at the school.
At the
At
school
school?
and throughout Archer.
Oh,
It's
okay,
their day.
okay,
Yes,
all right.
Okay, comment period. Anyone have comments for us this evening? Good evening, Ms. Lopez.
Well, Ms. Lopez gonna be very nice tonight, cause she's looking very pretty. Oh, thank you,
darling. Appreciate that. At my age, I need to look pretty. Anyway, I have a couple of things that I want to pass out, so don't start that clock. I'm warning you.
I'll put my hairnet on.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. I'm gonna give this to, starting with, will you do me a favor and pass that around? This document here is for the commissioners to share, because I don't have any more ink in my copy machine.
Just the end.
And I have one for,
It's for the attorney. It's for the attorney.
yours, and it's a sheet on the back.
Okay.
And, oh, there you go. And let's see, what else I have. I'll start with the attorney and then pass it on. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right. I've been doing a little homework, but it's for the betterment of Archer. Since we're on a good note tonight, I appreciate that. I wrote a little article here about the value of a volunteer, or value of volunteers. It is a known fact that volunteers can save millions of dollars for many organizations, municipalities, and more. I have seen and heard so many people come before the city of Archer during its financial crisis and offer to volunteer their help in many ways. If you will read my observations and recommendations, you will see that there are many things to follow up on. And that's something I already sent. And update. When and if we ever get a new manager, or he or she should not have to walk in and find our record keeping not in order. I'm asking the City of Archer Commission to recruit, organize Citizen Advisory Committee. And I did say committee, not advisory board. There's a difference, am I right? If there's a legal reason that this cannot be done, the citizens need to know. Their duties could include working on job descriptions, updating employee records along with the current manager. This is just an example of what is needed. Please respond. It has been a while since the city records in the outhouse out there, that storage house, been checked. And this is something that should be looked at. We have no idea what is in there or missing. I checked on community center records a few years ago that I boxed and turned in and was told they were not there. I also found much of the city's history on a dump pile outside. This happened during Mr. Greasehaver's time as manager. I have attached an article found in my files just to show you the value of a volunteer and how the Archer Community Center Advisory Board saved the city funds by doing most of the inside maintenance at the center for a few years. These people love making a structure that they helped to restore look beautiful. It was not just a Roberta thing, it was our thing. So I pass this on so So what I'm doing, I'm asking if you would please put it on the agenda, Mayor, Hope, or something to see if we can come up with some conclusion about a citizen advisory board. Committee. Because I think it's so important and there's so many things and so many talented people and we can do a lot of things to help. And I've always offered my help. The other thing that I have here.
Ms. Lopez, you're down to 1 minute. You can wrap it up, please.
Oh, I thought somebody was up here more than that a minute ago.
It's 3 minutes.
But
That was
anyway,
announcements.
The announcements.
well, maybe I should have come then, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry. This thing that I just gave you, it's a map. This is a map that my sister Clyde and my husband Frank Lopez put together in 2004. It's a map of places that can be annexed in Archer, and they're right around us. It's about 41 parcels. And this is something that a citizen advisory board can work on. You also have here that, another thing, and just give me 1 more minute. So I'm encouraging, us to try to find some funds because, we can't apply for grants because we're not eligible. We don't have any money here, so you can't really apply for grants. So the other thing that can happen is to promote the Archer Community Center, get it rented out,
Okay.
and that will bring in additional funds.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez, for the information. Anyone else? Good evening, Reverend
Good
Hisco.
evening. I am resetting and starting. I want to offer up just a little bit of reflection. I think that when we as a community establish guidelines about how we're going to interact together in order for us to have mutual respect and accountability, we need to be sticking with those and not just kind of, in some cases expanding, in some cases not. That begins to show favoritism, and it begins to show like maybe there's agendas that people are behind or not behind. And so I read very clearly in our guidelines that in this particular public comment, we are allowed 3 minutes. We follow Robert's rules, it seems to me, from what I can tell, when we're trying to have conversations. I respect all of my fellow citizens that are here. I run a lot of meetings myself and understand the importance of people being heard. But I think we need to honor those spaces so we're not showing what appears to be favoritism in one case or another. And so I just wanted to lift that up because I think as we're trying to have productive and helpful meetings that move us forward, if we're going to have those established rules in place, it's really important that we're following them mutually and respectfully for everybody. So I thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much, Reverend Biscoe. Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor, I totally agree with her. I think that we should have a timer because
We do.
I know I brought that to their attention one night and somebody stayed up here for the longest. And I think we have to be fair with everybody. We can set those timers for 3 minutes. And that was one thing they told us. We don't want to show favoritism. We want to stick to those 3 minutes for everybody.
Okay,
So
anyone else?
thank you for that, Pastor.
Hearing none, moving on.
So you want me to do the time? Because we had said that, but
As you
we had said that, but after it wasn't going that way, I stopped because
okay.
it
Well, I know you were in a
Wasn't.
couple meetings, so I had to use my watch.
correct.
I think the
Wasn't
issue
ignored.
is when you stop them, when it's 3 minutes and you say your time's up and they're in the middle of a sentence. I mean, if they're in the middle of a thought, let them
Then
finish that
finish.
thought.
Yeah. That wasn't a problem.
To close, I can assure you, going to legislative day,
you
the committee meetings, they're very succinct. Wrap it up. That was the term I
Exactly.
heard all day long. Wrap it up.
Exactly.
If you wanna tell them you got 30 seconds left.
And and they even have green, yellow, and red lights right up there. So, and we don't need to, I don't think, because we're more civil. But in Tallahassee, that's how they control it.
Just saying, if they're in the middle of a thought, let them finish.
Okay, moving on. Planning calendar, please.
Yes, Mayor Hope. So the Alachua County League of Cities meeting is next Tuesday, April 22nd at 6:30 at Archer Community Center. And just a side note in my report, Dana from Waste Pro has agreed they're gonna do the refreshments. We'll just pay for them and then they'll reimburse us. So just FYI, we got that covered.
Wonderful.
Thank goodness, yes. There's a city commission meeting on Monday, April 28th at 6 PM, City Hall. There's a town hall meeting on Wednesday, April 30th at 6:30 PM at Archer Community Center. There's a city commission meeting on Monday, May 2nd at 6 PM City Hall. And then I wrote in, there's a community workshop that North Central Florida Planning Council, they called like a few hours or so ago about the start on the amendments
May
process.
2nd or 12th?
For the commission meeting,
Oh,
the 12th.
May 12th.
It's the 12th.
Okay.
Sorry, I was talking too fast. So that workshop will be on May 19th
Okay.
at 6:30 at City Hall.
At City Hall.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
May 19th.
yes. And that's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Deanna. Next, old business, Holly Hill Stormwater Grant Matching Funds.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. What was May 19th? Did you say something? May 19th?
The
North
workshop.
Central Florida Planning Council
Okay,
planners,
that's it. All
and
right.
they start with a public workshop regarding the industrial zoning amendment considerations
Okay.
for our comp plan for that specific zoning area.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's gonna be here?
Yes, City Hall. And there'll be several of those public workshops and then presentations in between to us as the commission
Okay.
as they plan and that, I just know that from speaking with Scott Coons, who's the executive director, and he has two planners.
Okay.
But this will be that first public workshop for that. Yes, ma'am.
The Holly Hills, I didn't want to.
Right, now, did Kathy, Commissioner Penny, did you have something, or you're okay?
No, I'm just trying to put it in my phone, cause I don't put it in my phone.
Okay. Yes, please proceed.
At the last meeting, you all had kind of batted around the ideas on how you wanted to do your matching funds, and I know that there was discussion on it, and I think that the general consensus and what we're looking for tonight is just a motion for some direction, is to apply for the Resilient Florida Grant in July and to Alachua County as soon as possible for matching funds. The reason that there's not a resolution for this is because typically when we apply for grants, that is your resolution, that application accompanies your resolution, and what I didn't want to happen was the resolution to appear almost as like a blank check to apply.
I agree.
So tonight, we're just looking for, an oral motion on, is that the way you all want to go, both pursuing the Resilient Florida Grant as well as appealing to the county?
And I'll just speak to it, because I was the one that was putting on the brakes and saying, wait a minute, let's clearly understand what we're trying to do as we use the term piggyback, which is what the gentleman from Swanee River Water Management spoke to. This has been, a month and a half ago. It became the Florida Resilient Grant. We've had a Zoom meeting, just disclosing it. Deanna, it was open to everyone, but it was myself, you, and Mr. Marshall, is his last name, I think, Leroy Marshall, and then two of his associates, one is his superior, to clearly explain what the Florida Resilient Grant will then be. It will be the primary, requesting a match, of which our current Swanee River Water Management match portion of what we've been approved for, but they're looking for the match from us. They will be our match. So it will be a net zero opportunity if we get the Florida Resilient Grant. My position was and is, rather than tapping in, asking the county for assistance or approval to go into our building wild spaces, wild places, special holding account, and tap into that and ask the county for that as an exception, to hold to our commitment to the county to build that $300,000 over a 3-year period, as we've committed in part of our recovery action, and then go for this Florida Resilient Grant as primary, holding to Swanee River for the match of the secondary. And what Mr. Marshall is still wanting is just a letter of our action plan. And so, not a resolution, but, and reaching out as part of our action plan to Woodard and Kern to assist us with the Florida Resilient Grant, correct, Deanna? Am I correct in those?
Yes.
Is that in that
That's what we
process?
discussed, yes.
But what we would need to do by consensus or motion and action tonight is to approve this process and certainly draft the letter to go to Swanee River Water Management, what our intent and plan is. And then they will then hold that, waiting for our, and we have time, because that was my concern when we had the Zoom meeting, is, that grant, the Florida Resilient Grant, won't come up for application until July, with approval at the end of August. And is that okay with Swanee River Water Management? And I don't have it on a written record, but through that Zoom meeting, they said, yes, that timeline is acceptable, as long as they get something from us as a document saying that's our intention. So that's what you're presenting. I'm sorry, I just went into the specifics of the Zoom
No,
meeting.
you knew
just-
all the details. You were fine.
Yeah, I just okay, so who's first and who's second, and it swaps, so I get it, and it's a net zero to us rather than having to tap into any of our accountable recovery monies or whatever at this time. If we don't get it, then that's the risk we take, but from coming back from Florida Legislative Day, I'm being very positive, whatever, there was a lot of recognition of projects, including ours, that we got half of our $2.5 million appropriation through the House. It hasn't gone through Senate yet. It's, they don't finalize their budget until the first week in May. But I was ecstatic coming back on the bus that we got half of it through the House's approval. So they're looking at those projects of small and larger cities at this point. So I think Florida Resilient Grant would be in our favor as well.
So let me make sure I'm clear.
Yes, ma'am.
You need a motion to apply for the Florida Resilience Grant, or have we applied for this?
We can't apply till July. I
July.
think
That'll come up.
I think the attorney's office is looking for a motion for a letter,
The
right?
letter
Okay.
with our intent and our plan, so.
Well, we intend to apply for it in whenever, and to apply with Alachua County for, funds for our places, public spaces. And
We won't have to do that, so.
we did have to do that.
No, we don't have to do it. That was a recommendation I had because of the July and then August timeframe. But that's up to the commission.
I think we ought to do it just in case, and if we don't get it, I mean, if we don't need it, we say thank you very much.
Swanee River
I doubt
Water
that they'll
Management,
hold it
just, they
against us.
want the document letter of what our intent is. So if that's your motion to include both, that's fine with me. I just,
That's, I'm gonna
the plan is,
That's your motion. Second.
have a motion and a second. Any further discussion regarding the explaining what we're trying to do from the dais? And that letter could be drafted pretty timely, so we could get it to Mr. Marshall. So,
Yeah, no, we can help Deanna with that this
just
week.
let me know and any signatures and we can get it off.
Sure,
to-
no,
In
yeah.
respect to Mr. Marshall waiting this long, I mean, it's been okay. We said 30 days and we've taken 30 days, so. Nothing else from the dais as far as conversation? Anything from the constituents in the audience regarding what we're trying to do with saving a stormwater grant opportunity for Holly Hills area? Hearing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Nays like sign. Hearing none, motion carries 5-0. Thank you. New business, item 1, resolution number 2025-13, adopting revised real property policies.
Mr. Mayor, this is resolution number 2025-13, a resolution of the City of Archer, Florida, adopting revised real property policies which govern the acquisition and disposition of property by the city, repealing all prior resolutions in conflict and providing for an effective date. This is the set of policies that I asked for your blessing to bring back to you at the last meeting, and so here they are. It's a much more comprehensive policy than what you previously have had. It really candidly hands over very much so all of the power to you guys. There probably could be argument that prior to an implementation of a policy like this, that if property was in the city manager's spending limits, that the city manager could acquire property on behalf of the city. This supersedes that whole concept in that the city manager may negotiate contracts to purchase property, but at the end of the day, those contracts have to say that it's contingent upon approval by the city commission. So that's in terms of acquisition. So I know that we had talked about disposition at the last meeting, so I wanted to flag that there's acquisition language in this one. In terms of disposition, you were previously limited to using gov deals, and what I had mentioned to you all is that having watched gov deals, my concern is that we've got pieces of property that may be worth $8,000-$10,000, and that on gov deals, 1.5 acre parcels of timberland are going for $4,000. So I don't know that the full value is really realized by using gov deals. So this gives you the opportunity and the ability to engage in any sort of competitive public sale. So you can use gov deals, you can use a realtor, you can put it out by RFP. It really just broadens your ability in terms of how you're able to sell and market properties. Couple of things to note is that it doesn't apply, there's a carve out for your affordable housing. So if you all still want to follow your affordable housing policy wherein you're permitted to donate surplus property, this affects that not at all. There's also a caveat in here that brings to your attention state statute regarding parks. If you were to sell a park, there is a state statute that says money used to purchase parks, you got to then put it back into a park fund. I don't anticipate you guys selling a park anytime soon, but it's in there just in case. So it really is just a broadening. And the other thing that I'll flag for you is there's an exception in here to the competitive process such that if you want to sell to an abutting property owner, you're able to do that. So similar to what we're talking about doing with Mary Hope, the Historical Society, Hoyt,
Kirkland,
those are
all those people.
Kirkland, Arnold, those are carve-outs because those people's properties abut that property. The only determination you all have to make for that is that the city doesn't have a need for the property, that it's serving a public purpose, and that it's otherwise unusable.
This satisfies the quitclaim deed, the appraisal
Correct.
process, all
Yep.
of that, so it's not cherry picking on each
Exactly.
parcel. Okay.
So it's a much more comprehensive policy, and it really hands the reins back over to you all in terms of acquisition and disposition of real property.
Okay, so for further discussion, if we have any, do I hear a motion for approval of resolution number 2025-13?
So moved, Mr.
I have a
Mayor.
motion from
Second.
Commissioner White, I have a second from Vice Mayor. Any further questions from the dais or conversation?
No questions. I like it. Thank you so much.
Okay,
I'm sorry, one thing that I did forget to flag for you all is that it does enable the city manager to enter into temporary easements. So for whatever reason, the city needed to get on somebody's parcel to do some sort of maintenance, the city manager wouldn't have to bring that to you all to slow down that process. If there was a water meter, for whatever reason, we didn't have an easement to, and we just needed it shortly to repair. So I did want to flag that is the only real property piece that the city manager has authority to do without consulting you all
so
first.
it legalizes what we've done, because we do have meters that are on private property. So
Correct.
this would satisfy
Correct, so
that
this would
ability
enable
to
the city
operate-
manager to go
operate
out
and manage.
and fix those access
Good.
issues, if there were any. And it
Okay.
sounds like there might be, from what you're saying, Mayor.
Well, there's a few, from what we've heard from the dais in the past, so. Okay, anything else? From the constituents, any questions or concerns about what we're doing, introducing this resolution number 2025-13, adopting revised real property policy? Hearing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor of resolution number 2025-13, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well, nays like sign. Hearing none, motion carries 5-0. Next is resolution number 2025-14, supplemental addendum and extension of contract between the city and interim city manager Deanna Altop for the interim city manager position.
Mr. Mayor, this is resolution number 2025-14, a resolution of the City of Archer, Florida, approving that certain supplemental addendum and extension of the contract between the city and Deanna Altop for the interim city manager position, making certain findings of fact in support of the city approving said supplemental addendum and extension, recognizing the authority of the mayor to execute and bind the city to said contract, directing the mayor to execute and bind the city to said contract, repealing all prior resolutions in conflict, and providing for an effective date. Mr. Mayor, this is being brought back to you pursuant to the diocese instructions at the last meeting. However, I do want to note that in negotiations with Ms. Altop, she did request a supermajority for purposes of termination. For clarity's sake, that means it would have to be a 4-1 vote or a 5-0 vote in order to terminate her. So that is a variance from that original contract.
To terminate her as interim or as,
As interim.
okay.
I like that too.
The only other bit is, obviously, you'll see it, paragraph 2, paragraph 3 are the only changes. Paragraph 2 is your extension of 6 months. It's either it ends on November 12th, 2025, or upon the hiring of a permanent city manager, whichever occurs first. And then that paragraph 3, we underlined it for purposes of being able to see it, and I'm realizing it, looking at it in the packet, it still doesn't make it super easy. So it's 3B and 3C that have the underlines about the supermajority language.
Any questions to the dais? I have one. And I'm not putting you on the spot, Deanna, but when is your normal month of performance review if you were in your deputy clerk position?
June. So June, I've been here 10 years, so June would be my month.
And there's a reason for my madness and my questioning. This doesn't address that, and she will be in the position almost a year. And with her performance review coming up in June, is there some addendum or something where we have that opportunity to recognize her performance and be in a written form with goals, accomplishments, and things like that?
If you want language added into the addendum, we're happy to insert it.
I'm just bringing that to the table because I think that's only fair to her. And I think it's very important that we don't just skip from November till the next June with no performance accommodation, accommodating her with any feedback at all. We're getting it verbally, but it's nothing on record, and I don't think that's fair to you for your future employment here or any other opportunity you have. Does anyone else feel that that's important?
You're
Or
also
just-
able to do a performance review basically whenever you all want of your city manager. If you wanted to have one at the next meeting, we could, I will flag that it's not necessarily something you need in the contract. I think that as a dais, because you employ Ms. Altop, I think you've got the ability to evaluate her performance basically whenever you'd like to. So while I'm happy to insert the language, I would also flag that I do think that you all have the power to make that assessment at any publicly noticed meeting.
And so what is your thoughts, just since I brought it up for discussion, do you think it's that important that we do that in June? Because that is her month of evaluation and review, and she has had one since last June. And if we go through an interim and just negate this as not important, it will be all the way into December of another year, a year and a half.
And see,
Turn it on.
my question is then, are we gonna evaluate her, because that's half a year as an interim city manager, half a year as the deputy clerk, well, she did the job of interim anyway. But then are we gonna base her raise on that?
That's why I was introducing it as part of the contract, because we're certainly delineating a contract that was from, when did you accept the position, January? Or was it February?
November,
Yeah.
November 12th.
So it will be
A year in November?
November, and so if we're doing it at her monthly June, it would be for everything she did from June to June, but we'd be recognizing her in her differential leadership capacity as interim city manager.
Either way, she has to be good review.
I'm sorry, didn't hear.
I was just saying, either way, she is gonna get a good review.
That's what, and there's nothing stopping either one of us from sitting down and writing and it going into her file.
So we're just gonna do it individually versus just an exercise that we'll all do?
I think that since she's been in the position that she's currently doing since November, that June is, that we don't need to do it as soon as June. However, if we do, I'm like Commissioner Penny. I love everything that you have been doing, and so look, it's not even 5s on the form, but you'll get a 5 from me. So, yeah. Well, don't matter to me.
So legally, it doesn't matter if we do them individually?
No, as long as you don't talk to each other, or none of them are swapped amongst each other for purposes of sunshine law.
I just didn't wanna de-standardize it. I wanted to
Sure.
use her regular comfortable document that she's always seen and looked at and been able to have that for her record. And if it's 5s, fine, but it's on record.
There are no 5s, they're all 3s.
Whatever you say, you leave, if you're gonna give her 5, give her 5, see where it goes, but.
How would you feel?
So, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, she's talking.
Sorry.
You're talking.
I'm sorry. I was asking Deanna if she felt like she needed an evaluation at this point in time or not.
I personally don't think I do, but if somebody or more, or all of you would like to, of course you can. I prefer to wait a
I'm
year,
not-
but that's just my
Okay,
personal
I hate to
preference.
interject, but I wasn't going at it the direction of whether she wanted or not. I was doing it in a manner of protecting her interests in what job capacity she's doing. We don't have a job description for an interim city manager, so she's taking the capacity and the job responsibility of a full manager. And I'd like to recognize her for that skill set, or if there's anything that she needs to strengthen or weaken, or doing all 3s, all 5s, whatever you want to call it, it's on record. It's that easy, it's that simple. This isn't about doing anything in a negative way to Miss Altop. I don't know why it's being taken that way.
It's not
Okay.
taken as negative, not taken as negative at
It's
all.
just an exercise we do as a dais.
Yeah, and normally we do it Annually, I'm sorry, you were waiting to talk.
It's okay.
Normally, it's annual, and so that is the reason I said what I said. I think we need to give her that year, to evaluate her. Right now, she's doing well, but it feels like she just started.
Okay, and this is exactly where I wanted to go. So either by motion or consensus, do we have a consensus that her evaluation will not be in June as she has usually had it? It would be November. It would be a full year of interim city manager.
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to say, June is her 10th year as a city employee. I think, right, it's her anniversary. Personally, for me, June is fine, because what we're going to base it on is not really probably her position, it's the work she has performed. So I don't see where there's an issue or a problem with doing it in June like it's normally done. Either way, we're gonna base it on her performance. I don't think it's necessarily based on her position, but if she's done really well as an interim city manager,
Performance.
we're gonna base it on her performance. And
That's exactly where I was going.
and so I mean, for me personally, I think June is fine, because that is her 10th year anniversary.
And that's what I'm trying to make sure that we try to do. So we're not making someone wait from June until November just because they had a position change. Do I hear a motion to that effect?
But I make a motion that we do her evaluation when it's normally due, in June.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second. We'll go ahead and do it.
Thank you, Commissioner Penny. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? And again, this is more in respect of the person that's doing the position than any other reason.
Just for a legal standpoint, there's no issue with when you want to do it. For us, do you want the usual form that we do for the city manager? Is that what you all are, I just want to make sure we deliver what you all are looking for.
Is it for the
I think so.
the clerk position or the city manager?
I think she spent more
The job
time
she's doing
in the
now.
interim city manager position. She spent more time since November, so.
Yeah, she was doing-
So I think that's what we should. base
Maybe
it
before
on.
that
We're
too.
kidding ourselves. She was doing it from the night he walked out, and we just didn't do
She's
it.
been doing it for the last 5 years. So
Exactly. Therefore, that's why I'm saying do it as the city manager position.
So just the normal form
That's
and,
my
Okay.
recommendation. I don't know what the others feel.
whatever the vote is, I just wanted to make sure that our office does what we need to do in
Is
keeping.
that, you'll amend your motion to that effect, that it will be the city manager position?
Okay,
Description and evaluation?
so I make a motion that,
I have a question.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Because my question is so the city manager position, if we doing the evaluation on that and she's getting a raise for that position, and then we do hire a regular city manager, and she go back to her clerk position, where is she getting a raise? What money is she gonna be making? So we are really doing the evaluation on the clerk position because she's interim, and if she go back to the clerk, that's the money she'll be making
That's
at
gonna
that
happen.
time.
It's gonna happen either way.
That's the
I mean,
point.
unless
That's why I do it now. But hey, do what you do.
No,
Intelligent
because
individuals,
it is
I know that she's done the
because it
differential.
is a big difference in the money she's making as a clerk and the money she'll be making as a manager.
Correct.
I understand what Commissioner Penny is saying. By the same token, it really does not matter because it all depends on if she's hired as the permanent manager. So if we wait to do it in November,
Do you want that?
I mean,
I'm just
it's,
asking since she said it. Do you want?
but I'm just saying, you know, based on,
Point of order, we're getting way off a track from something that was a motion and a second.
no, we're not off track.
We're going into money. Does she want the permanent position? I had no basis for the motion.
We're trying to understand, we're
right,
understanding.
Right.
Still point
Thanks.
Right.
to the motion.
No, I was just trying to comment on what Commissioner Penny had said. As y'all almost made me lose my train of thought. But so my point is that her point that she made, that what if she have to go back to her regular position, then what about the raise and all that? But even if we waited to November and she's still not the permanent manager, it's still gonna be the same thing. So if you wait to November and she's not the permanent manager, city manager, by then, it's still gonna be the same thing. So
It will, but she would have had a year in that position, but it's fine.
I don't get it, but go ahead.
I was just gonna say, no matter what, if the contract terminates for whatever reason, Ms. Althoff is going to go back to her clerk
Deputy
position
clerk position.
salary. Whether you give her a raise in June, you give her a raise in November, you don't give her a raise at all, there's going to be a step down in pay presumably from the position of
Would
city
it be
manager.
consideration for the disposition of the two positions based on what your recognition was? I mean, we can be very fair about that. We've done this in the past, so, with the interim position.
So she can start enjoying
So we still need-
in June instead of waiting till November. It's bottom line.
But I think Madam Legal needs to note the direction we will be looking at her in evaluation.
I don't think I need an amended motion. I heard you guys. I feel like I'm good.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, I just don't want
No, I
any
just-
rejection of, I'm
No,
not
no.
completing this evaluation, it's not what I thought I was gonna get. I mean,
So you've got a properly moved motion and second on the
second.
floor.
Any further discussion from the dais? Any constituents with comments, please? Yes, ma'am, Ms. Lopez?
Roberto Lopez, I'm just totally confused because I thought everyone gets an evaluation once a year, am I right?
Correct, in the
Okay,
month of
in
their
her year.
evaluation. Hers is June.
I beg your pardon?
Her
In her
month is June.
Let me ask my question, please, if you don't mind. Because I may have to sit down. I'm just asking this question. If her year is up in June, do the evaluation. All of you've already said you're gonna give her 5 anyway, which I don't think that all that need to be discussed.
We didn't all say that, Ms. Lopez.
Well, you didn't, but
Point
some
of
people
correction.
did.
It's okay. But June is her evaluation month, and that was the
Okay,
point I
now
was
the other
bringing.
thing that I want to ask is, do you have a job description for an interim, and do you have one for the manager?
No, ma'am, and that's why the conversation was, we will be using the tool for the city manager to evaluate her performance.
And this is why I brought all that information up tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is why we need a committee or somebody to help us get all of this
Okay.
straight, because you can see now
It's
that
not the basis on the
rules
motion.
and regulations should be
Yes,
in
ma'am.
place, and the records should be in place.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am, Reverend Pisco.
Reverend Pisco, pastor at First Arch United Methodist. I just want to reiterate that I think this is why policies are important and consistency is important. And so I know in my job, there are times when we get moved mid-year and we're only in a church for 3 months and the evaluation still happens in May. It always happens in May.
With the new group doing it.
Whether you've been there for 3 months or you've been there for a year, it happens at the same time. It's for consistency. It's because there's accountability and expectation. Everybody knows that's when the evaluations are getting done. And it allows for transparency again, right? Because, well, are we allowing a stretch of an evaluation for this one and not that one? So if again, we have a policy that evaluations are done on an anniversary time of a hire or at a certain time of year, then it's really important that we are consistent in living into our policy. And so I just wanted to offer that up as we're trying to
Be fair.
get consistency and be fair.
Fair.
Thank you.
very much. Anyone else? Hearing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor of the motion on the floor say aye.
I think a lot of people got the motion.
Accept it.
Okay.
Aye.
This is, yeah.
An aye as well, nays like sign.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-2. Thank you very much for that consideration.
Almost forgot.
And you'll prepare the document in a timely manner. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, when you say the document, you mean the evaluation?
The evaluation.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
all right, no, you're fine, I just wanna make sure
I didn't want to call it too much more
no,
than
I'm
what
trying
it
to
was. And-
keep my to-do list straight,
Yes,
thank you.
ma'am. Okay. And with that said, did we actually have a motion for the acceptance of the resolution 2025-14?
Not that I know of.
Not
Did
yet.
not.
But so moved.
with all- So I have a motion. Thank you, ma'am, very much. So keep the meeting moving. All right, do I have a second regarding resolution number 2025-14? I have a second from Commissioner Green and a first from Vice Mayor Iris Bailey. Any further discussion from the dais? Hearing none. Any discussion or comments from the constituencies in the audience regarding the continuation of the interim city manager position by resolution? Hearing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor of resolution number 2025-14, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Nays like sign. Hearing none, motion carries 5-0. Thank you very much. Agenda item number 3, quote from Emerald Data for motion activated camera for the fuel tanks at Public Works. Audit finding 2023-11. Internal controls over our fuel.
Yes, Mayor Hope. So well, I've been working on this for a while because they're a little bit past our deadline. I think it was April 1st. So it's gonna be the 158741 for them to put a camera, and they're gonna mount it on the Public Works corner, and it'll be aimed at the fuel tanks, and it'll be kind of like, it'll be one of the high-end park cameras, that's why it's so much. So it'll have a 360 view, and it'll be motion activated, so you'll see every time someone goes in and out Public Works, of course, it's gonna catch them. And then also anytime someone's at the fuel tank. So I had to be on the building, so as they pull in, because I went over there, that way it doesn't block the view. So we kind of don't have a choice, but I just want to let you know this is how much it is going to charge the city to have that done.
$1,541.
$1587.
It's not supposed to cost us anything any month, just like the cameras at Wilson Robinson Park will have logins where we can look at the cameras, you know, if we need to, or go back and look at them for anything, so there shouldn't be
For
a
the sake
monthly
of
cost.
discussion, do I have a motion to consider quote from Emerald Data for motion activated camera for fuel tanks at Public Works?
So moved.
I have a motion from Commissioner White, a second from Vice Mayor Bailey. Open for discussion. Anyone?
The cameras at the park that pay for themselves, if we don't pay anything about the month, then this is what we pay. I mean, they got.
The park cameras are about the same, $1,500 piece, or, no, that was like
He told me-
$48,000 for
yeah,
that
he
camera
told me the
system.
camera is about the same cost as one of the higher end at the park, the higher end ones.
Wow, we paid a lot for the
Yeah, I
cameras
think
at
we
the
pay
park.
too much for it, but,
Yeah.
we're not paying
All right.
$4,000 for it. Oh, no.
I have a question, and again, this is for totally transparent, for transparency, for consideration of staff. Public Works staff know that this is being considered?
Yes, they do. They
They,
were
um,
all there when Ryan from Emerald Data came out, and I was there as well,
And
yes.
What is your take on their think on this? Are they concerned? Are they saying, let's do it so that we can put this to rest and know if there's abuse, where it's coming from? Or any comments from those three? We only have 4 Public Works, a rec person and 3 Public Works, correct?
Correct. Yes, yes.
That go in and out of that gate on an authorized basis during operating hours, correct?
Correct. And I think the officers, I don't know if they actually go in, I believe they do. Sometimes.
And the
they're in
ASO
there.
officers,
Yes. Yes.
they actually go inside the gate?
I don't know. I believe so.
And if so, why?
Say
So,
that
So
again?
they can talk to them.
Oh, just to,
Talk to
I
who?
think talk to them to see what's going on in the city, I believe. But I mean, I just know, I think they don't want the camera, but then they understand why. It's just between them, we'll have the spreadsheet as well. We just have to put all the figures in it. Just so that way it's, you know, the camera's there now, or will be
but they
there.
understand this, I mean, do you feel they understand the seriousness of the the fuel accountability and misuse or
They
non-record
do.
keeping?
I don't believe there was any misuse or theft, in my personal opinion,
Right.
but
I'm
this
not
way
trying to
it'll.
get you to say that, I just want to
No,
make
I'm
sure.
saying 'cause that's what I believe, but I mean, this will stop it, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? We have cameras now, we have spreadsheets, more protecting them than anything.
And they've committed to better record keeping of exactly
Oh,
when they
yeah.
pump fuel?
Oh, yes.
Because that's been brought up multiple times of, inaccurate record keeping for which vehicle and those kind of things. This, the camera's not gonna do that. It's still gonna be their accountability and responsibility in fueling up vehicles, you know?
Correct. Yes.
And I'm not trying to, I just wanna be assured that there's gonna be
My question,
written acknowledgement of this, that they understand that this is an expense just to stop abuse, and that's in their arena. Go ahead.
my question is, can they like take a picture in the morning and take a picture at night to say what's the difference? Instead of spending this much money for a while to try that, instead of spending more money. Because I know like when people come to pick up stuff from us, they take a picture of it and then, especially like some of the carriers, they come, they take a picture, how many pieces in there, what time it is, and all of that. Instead of trying to spend money, if we're trying to save money, if whoever be there at 7 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and then when the last person, how much fuel was used.
I think, I'm glad you brought that up, Commissioner Penny, because I feel they should do both. Because that would give you, because who's checking the camera? Public Works Director is gonna check that camera, or,
I'll have access and Calvin will have access.
it's another duty now on you, and then assigning, delegating it to Calvin. But if the fuel log at the close of one night and the close of the next, and it's an astronomical difference, that would be 4 lookups for you to know what an average usage is and be able to say, okay, we need to pull the camera between this day and this day. Again, it sounds like a standard operating procedure policy that we're going towards, that would be something you and Calvin would do. I don't know about not doing the camera, but certainly it would narrow down having to look at a camera with screenshots every so many seconds, 4 days of the week, or 7 days of the week. Yes, ma'am.
We had gas missing. I mean, it was missing. Was it done because they didn't log in? Was it done because it was stolen? Was it done? I don't know. Don't really, at this point, it's not something I can do anything about without this camera. This camera is gonna protect our public employees from being accused of stealing.
Absolutely.
And this camera is gonna show if they are stealing, who's doing it.
How to remedy it, yeah.
So, $1,500 is just not that much to spend to stay on top of it.
Okay, I just thought that was a good idea to take the screenshot, because they're there in the morning, they're there in the evening.
Oh, one time, okay.
You thought it was every month?
Oh, no, they're one-time camera calls. But then they have to monitor those camera shots, and I just thought that was a good idea, because you wouldn't have to sit up there and see screenshots. You could just look at the beginning and the ending of each.
And you can look at the time. If you've got a day that they're saying, gas was taken, there's gas missing, logged in. All you got to do is go back to the time on that camera and say, well, Scott, why didn't you put the gas in here?
But Deanna, you understand what I'm saying, to allow you that follow-up with standard operating procedures. It's better than sitting there. And I'm only thinking of our predecessor, who was so excited about spending hours monitoring camera shots. And this lady's got a lot more to do than that. And if this is to
Oh,
monitor.
yeah, I don't monitor, no. If I need to look at something, I'll go look at it like Commissioner White was saying, because you know the date, time about, and then you can go look at it.
Look at those 2 log shots 4 days a week and you're done. I mean,
Right.
and that,
Or if it's like the one at the park, it's gonna notify you when somebody sets that camera off.
especially after hours, if the gates are closed.
And
So
that's, yeah,
and my only other question, and I'll leave it alone, are the gates remaining open when they're out in the city doing projects? We've had this discussion, several years back.
From what I know, yes, they
They
are.
leave them open. They don't
Yes.
close them when they're all out on projects. So it's open to the public during those hours, when they're all out in this city.
Yes.
Would you ask them about that and whatever determination? But I understand the aggravation of having open gates. But I can assure you, our sister facilities don't do that. Unless there's a public works entity inside those gates. And I'm talking about Newberry, Waldo, asked point blank about that. I've not asked Stark yet, I have not asked Hawthorne. But, because that is leaving us wide open as well. I'm camera, no camera, and I know it would only be one time to catch them, I get it, Commissioner White, but that closing that gate could slow down a lot of the issue at hand as well. So, any other comments?
Yes, Ms. Mayor, I was gonna ask Deanna, do they keep a log book now? As far as, when they're using fuel?
Yes, there's a whole log they use. It's a paper log, and that's what we're trying to get the paper onto a spreadsheet, and then a camera is what we wrote to the Auditor General to clear the finding that we got.
Okay, so there have been a lot of abuse going on,
No, just the.
or accusations,
Excessive use.
Both, yes.
excessive use.
What it
Or
looked-
it wasn't written
Not
down. It
written
could
down,
be
to
multiple
match
things.
the gallons pump
Yes.
versus.
Another question, when they are using the vehicles, do they have to, well, of course, they use gas for more than the vehicles, they have to use it for lawnmower, so that wouldn't really solve anything. I was thinking about as far as putting down the mileage and stuff like that. To the mayor's point, does everyone have a key to the gate? Said if they had to lock it going in and out, does everyone have a key? All the guys?
It's a code, yes, they do.
It's a code, they all have that. So, that is something they can do as well, then lock the gate behind them, since they all have, the code to the gate.
Right, right.
Could we try that first and see if there's still a lot of, excessive use going on?
We can do that, yes, but we still have to do the camera, cause it was that's what we said we were gonna do.
Okay,
To the Auditor
okay.
General, and if we don't do it, I don't know what the ramifications will be, if
Okay.
any. But no, I agree, that's a good idea, yes.
It certainly would slow down. the
So,
Yeah.
yeah, Calvin said that they are good with it and to go forward with it. Like Deanna said, so they had already discussed it.
Okay. But sounds like we don't have a choice anyway, so I don't know what we're discussing then. Maybe I lost.
There's gonna be a cost.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any conversation from the constituents regarding this motion? Yes, ma'am. Reverend Pisco.
I'm so sorry. I just want to quickly see that. I see this as a quote, and so I just wanted to say that, the church I was serving, we had vandalism a year ago. We have 5 Ring cameras. All of them are motion activated. Light kicks on if it's at night. It lets all the timing know. We spend less than $200 a year on it.
Okay.
So I just offer that as alternative. If I know it's $1,500 may not seem like a lot, but if you can do it for $200, and like I said, it's 5 cameras, full system. So there are other options that may be less expensive.
Is this the only quote we got? Because this is
Yes.
our current contractor that provides us this.
Oh,
Yes.
one more question. Do everyone have the same code?
Yes. For the gate,
Huh?
for the gate.
Yeah, the gate.
Right. Okay. Cause like coming into our building, everybody have their own code, so you know what time that person came, who came in the building, and what time.
We're not that high up yet.
Oh,
Okay. Any other comments from the constituents in the audience? Hearing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor of accepting the quote from Emerald Data for motion activated camera for 157140 something? Whatever the exact amount was. Say aye.
Aye, 1587 for
158741. Thank
Yes,
you, Madam
aye.
Vice Mayor.
Oh, I didn't
Aye
vote
as
at all,
well.
but I just
Nays,
go
like
aye.
sign. Hearing none, motion carries 5-0.
So I will say that before we got the cameras down, the cameras that we have now at Wilson Robinson, we did try, I think it was Ring or Blink. it was several different ones, but because of vandalism and people, and I'm hoping it was kids, they actually climbed up, dismantled, got rid of multiple, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
next item, removal of certain speed bumps.
I asked Deanna to put this on here because we just had to contact our insurance company again, where the lady drove her car over the speed bump at the splash pad, and it took out the bottom of her car almost. And, this is like the third one that's gone to insurance. And I'm noticing a lot of them now are getting to the point, what happens is the, bolts waller out in them. More cars that go through, and the bolts pop up, and then the whole thing pops up. And, I was talking to a deputy about it, and he said he thought there were some places they were needed, but some places they were really not needed in this town. And he said to have two on an avenue street like mine seems a little much. And I do agree.
So, are you asking to just remove them or to like, okay, take some up and replace
Go
them
through 'em.
somewhere else?
No, don't even,
Or-
oh, I don't care if you're replacing someplace else, just take it from him off my, no. Well, there's one out right here going from here to my house. There's one right there. And if you look, that thing's starting, there's two of them, it's the two separate ones.
Right.
One of the best kind in Archer, but if you look, they're beginning to, the bolts are coming loose, and you'll see that one end's higher than the other, and it's probably where people are. And then down at the community center, there's one down there where the bolt is up about that high.
Oh.
And I'm surprised somebody hasn't already started complaining about a flat tire. But, on the, road by Maddox, there's two of them. The farthest one from your house,
Yes.
that one looks like it's gonna come up any time.
That's because of the dump trucks.
Well, I
I
don't know.
mean, they're completely worn out.
I have
Those
the
two are
dump
worn
trucks
out.
come up, I mean, I have them come down our road all the time too.
The buses as
Everybody.
well. So
But I've talked
they're worn.
to,
I don't know what the life of those are. And Deanna, could you find out or have Calvin look up from the vendor source and find out what is the life of speed bumps? I mean, because I don't need to know, but
Right.
that could be an issue because we've had them 4 or 5 years. That was like,
we have had them, we've had them.
it was
too long.
Hammond's second year in the office and we said, let's do it to stop the traffic because it was 55-mile-an-hour traffic going down some of these thoroughfares, so.
Well, and
donuts at
I'm just gonna use
Center.
my road, Church Street, as the, as an example. You've got Young's Kitchen, which stays busy, both sides of the road. True. Stays busy.
True.
Then, within 25 feet of Young's is a speed bump.
True.
Within 25 feet of it is a stop sign. Within 25 feet of it is
There's another.
another speed bump. Then another sidewalk, stop sign. That's ridiculous. These people are having fun with those speed bumps. See how fast I can get from one to the other, forget the stop sign. When the stop signs weren't working. And that's what I was told. The deputy said, if you remove this speed bump out here, you can put up a 3-way stop. And Calvin said he remembered, and I do too, when there was a 3-way stop out here. So, I mean,
And that
that
stops the
we
speeders?
can do.
That stops the speeders? I mean, did the officer say that? That stop signs will stop the speeders?
Stop signs do stop the speeders somewhat, if you're legal, if you want to be legal, but no more so than those speed bumps. And I mean, listen, if you want it at your house, come get the one at mine and take it.
That's not what this
I
conversation's
have
about,
to,
Commissioner
in my
White.
little truck, I have to get down to
So,
about 3 miles
let's take
an hour.
this somewhere if we may. Do you want to give direction to Deanna to have the Public Works Director come back with his suggestions on which ones to remove and which ones to replace?
I would
And could we
prefer,
get a life of those speed bumps that we
I
have?
would
that are-
prefer to have him go through and look at them, and if they've got bolts poking up, get them out of there before they
Correct.
cause more damage.
Correct. I agree.
I mean, we're,
And that takes me back to my question, what is the life of the current speed bump manufacturing units we have?
if, what is that gonna matter, Commissioner?
To determine,
If they're
Commissioner
gonna-
White, whether we replace them or we remove them permanently. We shouldn't remove something just because it's worn out. We do that a lot with assets in Archer. This is about life safety issues in Archer. When we had cars overturning in downtown Archer 4 or 5 years ago with speed in excess of 55 miles an hour.
We've got too many speed bumps.
I'm not arguing that with you. I'm trying to walk through the process of what actions we're gonna take. If they're faulty, remove them, is what I hear you saying.
That's what I'm saying, if they're faulty,
Get a
remove them,
replacement
don't replace
cost.
them.
2. 3, what is the life of the current units that we purchased? Because if you want to go all the way back, they're never the ones that I thought we were going to get. I thought we were going to get sophisticated speed humps, not bumps. It's a big difference. We've got car tearing up bumps in Archer versus humps. It's a whole different design. They cost more money, so we went cheap, and we got the cheapest manufactured speed bumps. So in this conversation, my request is to satisfy you, and the ones that are faulty and flopping around, remove them, is what I hear. 2, what is the replacement cost for those, just to bring back to us? Number 3, what is the life of the current manufactured type units we have? And it's been 3 or 4 years since we had them, so if we could get an estimate or a quote on what a speed hump would be now versus the bumps we have, because it's a whole different design. It doesn't make your car go airborne. It just helps you recognize that it's a slow area to move in, which are probably going to be, it's been 4 years, so it's probably going to be a 50, 75% increase. I'm ready for that. I just want to see, that's all. Just so we can disclose it with transparency to our citizenry and the options at hand, and take care of the life safety issues and reduced insurance claims from people damaging their cars from worn out speed bumps.
So, I think that we do need to go through and see where they are, where the speed bumps are, how many of them are faulty.
Which ones are faulty?
I do think that those that are faulty need to be taken out. I do not think that we need to just look at replacing them. I think that they should have been more strategically placed than they are. And if this is the third case, we need to, before we place something else, we need to make sure that we are placing them appropriately, not just replace it because there was a speed hump there, especially if we are having cars coming apart. That's
And my question to you, Ms. Altop, is that something that our Public Works Director can do and bring back to us?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
If he can have, if he has time.
I don't
we
want to
can have it
spend a
at the next
dollar
meeting.
approving anything tonight. I
Oh,
would just
no.
like this brought forward with these questions brought forward by the Public Works Director after he does his
We're
report.
not approving nothing tonight? Because I'm gonna make a motion that we remove those speed bumps that are worn, that,
think he
that are, huh?
I think he meant spending money.
Oh, well, I'm not spending money, I'm taking some money. I wanna remove the speed bumps that
If-
are a
do-
liability.
Do you want to ride around with the Public Works Director and choose which ones you think are faulty and need to
I
be
sure
removed
can.
and bring back a report to us
Sure.
with the Public Works Director?
Sure, I don't mind that.
I would appreciate that. I'm not trying to give an assignment, but I
He's
think that
gonna
would be
love
wonderful.
me to doing that.
May I?
I said, he's gonna love me doing that. But yeah, we'll do it.
And it's not because Calvin can't do it, but then we're satisfying your concern as well as having the Public Works Director do his job and bring back information that he feels, because I agree with you. I think when it was done in a way that was who's screaming the loudest to get what they want on certain streets.
They didn't get one on their street. I tried.
But that that's haphazardly in the past, and I'd like to move this forward in a very logical way with your assistance, and that would be great. Bring it back to us. And it gives,
So you're
it
gonna-
gives time for quotes as well.
You're gonna get with Calvin and do this?
I'm gonna make a motion first.
Okay.
That I get with Calvin, if that's what you want, and we go
I don't
through
care.
and
Assess.
look, okay, assess the, speed bumps, and those that need to come up will come up.
And we may find another
Second.
area that strategically needs
I
one,
will
so.
tell you, Holly Hills likes this.
I was waiting for everybody to finish, and I was going to say,
those that
do
reside-
not trust the ones in Holly Hills,
I second the motion.
because they really
Have a
slow the
motion
traffic
and a
down.
second. Any further
Yes.
discussion?
I do have a question.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
ma'am.
I do have.
Commissioner Penny.
The maintenance of them, like, can they be fixed, the ones that the boats coming up? Because I spoke
would
to
be a good-
somebody this weekend in reference to speed bumps, and they want speed bumps on their road, but they didn't like the kind that they got. They want another kind.
That takes me all the way back to the
Right,
consideration.
so some people,
alternative.
some people want the speed bumps, they want to make sure that they're working because, they don't want people flying down their road.
And when they hear those big trucks, especially if the speed bump in front of your house, those big trucks go over that speed bump.
This person is right in front of their house. And they was like, they want their speed bumps. So I think we really need to evaluate each speed bump, ask the people in their neighborhood how they feel about it. We just can't go on, one or two people. We need to ask the community where the speed bumps at in their neighborhood. Like she's saying, Holly Hills, Magnolia, whatever we want to call it this week. They want their speed bumps. Because I still call it the quarters. So it depends. So we need to ask the people in the community because it's some people who want their speed bumps.
Okay. Okay, so the motion is to do an assessment with the assistance from Commissioner White, working with Calvin, and bring it back to us at your convenience.
And ask the people in that, I don't know.
I mean,
what's
whatever time it takes to
the
get quotes and stuff, so.
best way we can ask the
We're
people.
just gonna move the one in front of Commissioner White's house.
That would be happy.
Yeah, we just can't, but it's other
Okay.
people down.
All those in
the road
favor of the
other than
motion,
Commissioner White.
moving forward, say aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, did you have something? I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, Bob. Come forward. I put it out there and then I brought it back real fast. I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
Bob Kosicki, citizen. I'm the one that brought it up in the first place years ago, because down this street, it was my racetrack to watch.
It was, yeah.
That one put out there, it doesn't matter. I mean, because people can go over that much easier, they can either go fast or slow. And the big trucks don't bounce as much, but they still love going over it. And we have 2 stop signs right out front there. Half the time, they don't even care if there's any
not.
stop signs.
That's why I asked the question.
They don't care at all. They'll go through them either way. Either way, a stop sign don't stop them. Unless there's a cop sitting somewhere around here and they see him,
And it
that's
costs
the
them
only
money.
time they're really able to stop. The speed bumps everywhere else are crap. They are, when they were put in, they were the cheapest, junkiest, and the most horrific for cars to go over. Yes, you have to go very slow, because if you don't, you're gonna bounce like crazy, and it doesn't matter. But the other thing is, it's like anything that goes out and it's on a roadway, they have to be maintained.
Right.
Have to be maintained. You can't just put them in and say, well, that's it
We're
forever.
done for 4 to 5
It,
years.
it has to be maintained. Now, there are the roads that have 2 of them or whatever, that's a little more excessive.
We got one road that's got 3 of them.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the one out going down to Magnolia, going down that way. 2 of them. And again, we got
It's still-
dump trucks. We got dump trucks going over these things that are really putting stress on them.
They're tearing them up. Yep. All right, thank you.
I didn't think we were going to have trucks in downtown.
Yeah, that,
Oh, that's right, there's signs. They don't pay attention to those.
over 25,000 pounds, yeah,
That's
not
right.
allowed. Yeah.
Right, sure.
And we've got 75,000 pound trucks coming through downtown all the time. Okay, anyone else from the audience? Yes, ma'am, Ms. Robertson. Welcome.
Rhonda Robertson, resident. I strongly request that these speed bumps on Depot Street are not removed.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. We
All right.
hear
Have a
the,
good
we hear the
weekend,
message.
but-
Yes, ma'am, we hear the message. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, let's go to a vote. All those in favor of the motion plan to be brought back to us at the convenience of Commissioner White and our interim city manager and the Public Works Director to bring back the information to assess it further, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Nays like sign. Hearing none, motion carries 5-0. Quotes to clean City Hall and Archer Community Center.
All right. Yes, Mayor Hope. These are only for cleaning. The strip and wax is for the floor is
Just
gonna
the
be on
strip
the
and
next
wax. Okay,
meeting.
all right.
Yes, so as you can see, they vary in price. So the Crystal Clean is the lowest cost for City Hall and the community center. And then Mr. Stevens' company was, I think, the second. And then Pro Clean, they handle a lot of government buildings. I don't know the whole list, but they're the most expensive. She did tell me we would definitely be happy, but we just can't swing that at this time, in my opinion. So staff is proposing we go ahead and move forward with Crystal Clean, because I asked this attorney to make sure I was good on the quotes or if it needed to be an RFP, but so for each building, if you go with the first two, they're under, I think actually they're all under the RFP levels, so I take that comment back. So they're all under the 12,500 RFP level.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was just looking to see if you guys are okay with,
Question.
yes.
The Crystal Clean, is that City Hall and Community Center, is that once a week or
Yeah,
once
it's
a month?
No, it's once a week.
Once a week?
Her staff will come here and then at the community center.
So it would be $125 per week?
Yes.
And then the $225?
Correct.
So $400 per week?
$1,600 a month.
Yes. It's $1,600.
So it's 200 more than we were paying, our previous person, Roxanne. But she was cleaning the senior center though, as well.
At the end of the year,
But it does not include any stripping or waxing of the floors.
No, I have separate
This is just the
quotes.
other deep cleaning of everything else.
So the cleaning, yes.
Okay, we're still working on the quotes for the strip and wax.
I believe I have two at the
That's
moment.
good. That's
Now,
all
I
right.
had other people call and come in, but I didn't get their cleaning quotes, so I
Okay.
just went with
I'll
three I did
check whether they were
receive.
licensed and bonded or whatever.
Right.
These quotes in front of us, they're licensed and bonded,
Yes, they are.
all of them
I
in
have
front of
all
us?
of them,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
the end.
Question, oh, go ahead, Commissioner White.
I might as well go now. Do you really think City Hall, even the community center if it's not rented, has to be cleaned weekly?
That was about to be my question. Part of my
I
question.
know,
Maybe
Kind of.
City Hall, but not the chambers.
The chambers
We meet in
probably
there every
could-
2 weeks.
right.
And I know it doesn't get that dirty anyway, but, I'm just looking at,
Now, I know, I wasn't trying to interrupt you, on Crystal, Clean, if she comes bi-weekly, it is 175, because I don't think she has a lot of customers right in this area, so for her to travel from Bronson,
then
not
what
that it's
would it
that far,
cost us, I
but.
wonder, for her just to come in and clean City Hall? And I'll continue to do the chambers, I don't have a problem with it.
Oh, I can ask her,
Yeah,
I can
I
ask
mean,
her.
So do we want? Never mind. Never mind. Keep going.
well, I mean, I don't know what it'll take off of there, but if, that's a lot of money to clean.
It is, but when you look at the other ones,
I
she's
know.
drastically less than
Yeah,
the
I know.
other ones we received.
I just can't see paying if we're not using it, and that's my
I mean, I have
problem.
another option that an employee brought to me for City Hall, so I can go that route. If, we're not gonna pay the person, we're just gonna rearrange some hours.
So do we need to table this?
Well, the community center, the community center, if you guys could approve the community center, that would be appreciated, but, and then for City Hall, I can talk to the employee to make sure we're good to go on that before we move forward.
So
And then also I can ask her if she just cleaned the City Hall side, how much would it go down? And then also ask, I know
So-
bi-weekly was $175.
So each of them are okay with us doing one and not the other? I mean, like approving one of these?
I did ask
Oh.
any of that
Yeah,
question.
she
Okay.
probably, she
Because
probably will want to jump the price if we do one of the two. Yeah, and again, this is for discussion before you make a motion. Can we table this decision? I know it doesn't have to be 30 days, it could be our next meeting, but give you the time to go to Plan B and talk with them about the alternative and then bring it back to us.
Can I do it for the the April 28th meeting?
If you have time, if not, it could be May 14th. I mean, that would, for
And-
our
and-
May meeting.
It's just
That would
putting a
be within
lot on
30
a
days.
few people to get everything cleaned is why I was just trying to get
Yeah.
it situated, but yeah, that's fine.
Okay, and bring it back to us for, I mean, especially the second
both.
meeting, because that's a financial consideration
Yes.
based on our situation. Is that like?
So was your question to table this period until the next meeting?
Table
Or-
to the
or
next
just-
meeting
okay.
was what I was asking for
Okay.
consideration to give time for the alternative.
That's
And then
good.
bring it up from the financial perspective.
That's fine, that was what I was
So I'll
asking her.
entertain a motion then for that.
Yes, so moved.
So move from
Second.
Vice Mayor, a second from Commissioner Penny, to just table this to get the alternatives and brought back to us at our financial second meeting in April. Any further discussion? Any, yes, ma'am?
Is it our time or their time?
Your time.
I was gonna also ask, because this is coming back up, Deanna, also see, if you can get maybe some other quotes through on maybe, the mopping and stripping, not the but the stripping of the floor, because I'm thinking if to get a good stripping, you may not have to mop all the time because the people that use it's supposed to be mopping it. So I'm just saying, so we can weigh all of this out at the next meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm on that, sorry, there's a bug flying around.
She said
Yes.
some floor separate.
Okay, okay.
Any other questions from the dais? All right, any comments, questions from, yes, ma'am, Ms. Skinner? Ms. Skinner was first. I'm sorry that she moved to the front. And then you, Ms. Lopez, sorry, thank you.
Brenda Skinner, resident. How often is the community center being used?
Yeah.
Every
like-
weekend.
Like about every
Fridays,
weekend,
Saturdays.
somebody's there.
Mondays and
I know on
Thursdays.
Saturdays.
Okay, but
Talking about Reynolds.
I guess what I'm asking, is it being, I mean, it's one, you're saying somebody's coming in and cleaning up after themselves though for that, right? So, is it needing a deep clean every week?
No.
No, ma'am, I think she just worded it that way, cause, we clarified that, it is just a cleaning, but I believe she does a lot of more in-depth cleaning, so if that's who we go with, it'll be interesting to see what her work looks like.
Yeah,
her
because some of the
staff
stuff
looks
she
like.
had listed on there didn't look like the stuff that you do every single week if it's not being used every single day.
Right.
That's why I was asking. It looked more like a deep cleaning type thing. So maybe it's not something that needs to be done every single week, especially if the people who are using it themselves are picking up and cleaning up after themselves. Maybe it could be cleaned every 2 weeks instead. That's a possibility. Or maybe she doesn't have to do the deep clean every single week. Maybe the light fixtures and things like that aren't getting dirty every single week. It's a thought. Does it really need a deep clean every week, or is it a way to save the money?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Lopez.
One thing that you may wanna find out is whether or not they're gonna be able to come and clean like on a Friday. Because you may have an event, say, on Saturday. And that will take care of the dancers who's coming in on Monday or Thursday or whatever. So if they come in on a Friday, we'll know that it's clean whenever it's rented. I wanted to point that out.
Thank you.
The other thing that I wanted to point out is that at the last meeting, someone asked the question, I think it was Jean Arnold, did we have a budget for the community center? And I heard, and I don't know who said it, on this end somewhere, no, but we do. If you look at your budget, you will see utilities, you will also see maintenance, and that's where this would come. Before Dallas came, we had budgeted 1,500.
Ms. Lopez, what does that have to do with the motion on the floor? Could you stay with the motion on the floor, please?
I'm just trying to say that, you know, we have a budget.
Yes, ma'am. We have a
And I'm
budget and we have a
pointing that out so
checkbook
it'll be
that we have
tied
to
in with
balance
whatever
and
you decide
reconcile.
to do. That's all.
Yes, ma'am. We hear you loud and clear.
No, but you haven't heard my minutes are up.
No, ma'am, but please stick to the motion on the floor, which is bringing
The motion is
back.
tying in with what she's talking about, and I'm trying to let everybody know, because it was said, no, we did not have a budget for the community center maintenance, and we do. Right now, we had 7,500. According to Deanna, we've used 2,827, and I put in a public records request, because I want to know for what.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Anyone else? Hearing none, let's go to a vote. All those in favor of the motion, consideration to table this to the next financial specific meeting at the end of the month for additional information, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Nays, like sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Okay, reports, correspondence, and communication. No reports other than your report that was provided.
Yes, sir. I wasn't gonna read it unless you guys had anything.
No, ma'am. Are
We
there any
already talked about
questions?
the League of Cities meeting.
Yep.
The profit and loss, I do wanna bring that up
Yeah.
though. Cause it's hard to get with Dallas, not cause he's not available, he's just super duper busy.
Yeah.
But, Justin and I did ask him, we do have to go all the way back and figure out what reports to run in Edmonds, which I know we're gonna get with, I forgot your name already, I'm sorry. To see if she
Is
can
that
help, or
true?
if we can figure out on our own, and then all that revenue though has to be moved into QuickBooks, that's what
In a
the whole-
consistent way, yeah.
Right, so
Okay.
it's just gonna be a decent amount of work, but they're gonna, I think Amanda or Dow's gonna come hopefully next week, cause they were at a conference last week to, help us through, maybe this week,
Is
on what
Mr.
to do.
Is Mr. Marlowe in place as city manager yet? No? I'm sorry, what? He's still teaching?
She said June.
It would be what?
June.
June. Oh, okay. Just curious. All right.
And splash pads you can read, that's, the holdup is some parts,
Can I ask a question that's, I
Sure.
don't think I'll ever avoid? Has Amanda moved any further forward with reconciliations from April of '24?
I believe
Forward?
she said she was gonna, her goal was to finish April over this past weekend, but she was a little behind from the conference had to be at, and hopefully start on May, but I haven't got confirmation she's on May just yet.
So it's like just,
It's slow going because it's just so much isn't correct, so it takes them longer than
one a
normal to get
month
through these
is what we're
things.
looking at? Wow.
Well, she can't allocate a lot of time, she has a young child.
Okay. I guess
So
I
she's
had,
doing her best, of course, and she's wonderful.
Okay.
Dallas should be back, I mean, our plan is for him to be back in June.
okay, not that he's better than Amanda. I just thought the
Yeah.
reconciliation was gonna move a little faster.
He just has a little bit
No,
more of
I'm
a
not.
wheelhouse than she
truly not
does.
trying to
No,
assess
she's
it.
great.
You were thinking it though, I can tell you. Nonverbal.
So that goes into the budget amendments, because remember, we were talking about the Enterprise Water Fund. He said that, of course, he just can't do it, but when he gets back in June or July, of course, then we're gonna start the next budget season as well, so.
That's why I was just asking about Mr. Marlowe.
So, yeah,
'cause
so
that's
he'll be back to
instrumental
help us through all of that,
To get us
yes.
on speed
get
dial
going,
as far as
yes.
moving, because gosh, both of them could work with that. That would be
Yes,
great.
so
Okay.
that was really
All right. Okay, attorney report? Yes, ma'am. Anything?
No, I'm stoked at how early it is, so I don't want to mess up the mojo.
Next. Done, thank you very much.
Everything's moving along. Probably have an updated project list for you guys at the end of the month, just to kind of bring you up to speed on where we're at on everything.
Different things, okay, thank you very much. Any questions of the attorney? Take back his homework? No, thank you. Commissioner reports. Ms. Penny, Commissioner Penny.
Okay.
Anything for the good of the country, please, ma'am.
Well, I did have the opportunity to go eat dinner, which you never can go wrong with Hitchcock's fried chicken. You can't. I don't know who made the spaghetti like the time before. It was good too now. I'm not complaining, but I really, and I'm gonna get up the nerve to sing at the karaoke. I have to find a song that y'all won't laugh at me, but I got to get me a song. And I did come to Keep Archer Clean or Get Archer Clean on Saturday. That was fun. I was trying to do a good deed for my cousin, and she just messed me up for the rest of the day. And I am working on the health fair. I'm finna get that, and I want to do a farmers expo. I want to try to do that.
Farmers Expo.
Garden expo.
I like that.
I
like that idea.
A lot of people are getting gardens. I went to see Danny Vicks on Sunday. It is absolutely downright gorgeous.
I wonder he didn't shoot you.
No, man,
With his double fences.
we are classmates, and we sat out there and talked for like 45
He
minutes.
will eat you for lunch.
Oh, it is gorgeous. So I want to try to encourage more people to get gardens, and I want to shout out to the library because they do have free seeds. They only had I want some squash seeds.
I have plenty.
Okay, I'll come
If
visit.
you all remember Gabe Green, when he was commissioner, that was one of his projects. And I think he did it at Holly Hills, a garden or whatever. It didn't last, but I think one season. But I thought that was a great
Yeah.
idea.
So
As a
yeah,
concept, just
cause
have a community garden.
yeah, I wish we did have the space for a community.
Well,
garden.
we have Maddox. Yeah.
Where is it? Where is it?
Keep going, baby.
We don't
Okay,
have a gym
that-
being built there now, so we got plenty of space.
That's it. That's all I done.
All
and
right, we're good.
And you know what? I do want to apologize for losing my temper last meeting, because that is not me, and that is not what I want to be known for, is going back and forth with people, because that is just not me. Okay.
This gavel accepts your apology.
Okay. I thank you, Gavel.
Crack the gavel, boy, I'm telling you.
Oh, okay, so I did go and help cover the last hour of the cleaning, community cleanup. I will suggest though, next time, because it really didn't have a lot of participation. So next time, I will suggest that we put like signs up. Even if I have to help donate some or something, I think at the different neighborhoods, because I think a lot of people just don't pay attention to the water bills, the messages and stuff, and some are probably like me, I just go online and pay mine, and so I think next time it'll be, because that was a very good thing, had a lot of big dumpsters out there, but not a whole lot in it, and I think a lot of people just didn't know, and also volunteered at the Spring Carnival out at Archer School, which went very, very well. And so, yeah, and still serving on the SAC committee out there.
That was a great idea to just signage, but maybe, again, since we're in our beggar mode or whatever, Waste Pro is a sponsor, if maybe they could supply a banner that we could change the date every year, sort of like we used to do with Yulee Day or whatever, but if they would purchase the banner and then have their logo on it, and then we could just have a space for the date each year, that we could just put the date. Instead of us having to buy a $135 banner, but if they could do it, then we could certainly put it up at, in the park or whatever in advance. I'll sign a request letter or whatever, just asking for a donation from whatever we need to do. Thank you. Is that all, Commissioner Green?
Yes.
Okay, Commissioner White?
I have been busy the last 2 weeks and I don't know what I've done.
There's medicine for that. There's medicine for that.
I did, I planted the flowers
Thank you.
and they look like they're dying, but I
Oh.
didn't water them yesterday or today because of my back.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
We planted the flowers, I planted the flowers at the little park here, and I tried to keep them watered, but, I met with the JCC on their project, the, proclamations. I'm sorry, Saturday, I had full intention of being with you, but at the last minute, someone skipped out on taking Scott to the game, so I had to. Scott had double headers that day, so I had to take him. There are some things coming up, though, that I do want to talk to y'all about. We have the we've been given the opportunity by Linda Kasicki to do a display of Mary Bennett's. She had several of her artwork. I've gotten with the school, I don't know, 2 or 3 times now about these. These are at least 10 years old, at least. So my recommendation is gonna be we take these down, we send them to the school, let them fill them again, and we do a tribute to, whatever, to Mary Bennett with her pictures. We have about 10, 12, and I will hang them. And, they're already in frames and all, so we don't, all we have to do is hang them. The blue chair that's in the front, Linda donated it, so that when the police officer came, that's Mary Bennett's chair that she painted and covered. The next thing, what was the other thing? Linda, bless her heart, is making a sign for the Archer Junior Commission to go under our, because that's their garden out there, basically. So she's making a sign that says Archer, City of Archer Junior Commission. It doesn't say Chambers, but it will go down. Did y'all decide if you're gonna put it underneath the one on the post or on the cement?
I'm really not sure. I made Justin go out there and talk to her.
Well, it's gonna be on a piece of wood that Linda is painting, and it's got the Archer Junior Commission on it, but it's also got the eagle, Archer Eagle on it, so it works.
Good.
So those are the 2 things that we're planning. The other thing is, I don't know how many of y'all have been paying attention to the sand mine that they're putting in out here on 24 by Watson Construction, Watson C&D.
On the right, going to Bronson, yeah.
Y'all realize that's 1.5 miles from the Alachua-Levy County line, and they're gonna be doing 108 dump truck trips daily, from sunrise to sunset. That's in their application. We need to be watching that. That's,
No better timing than right now with the assessment of State Road 24 and the traffic.
I'm telling y'all something, I don't know how.
I know it's costing, what, $350,000 for the assessment, but hey,
Well,
go to it.
it's, they're supposed to meet next Tuesday, and I think it's next Tuesday.
Is that just holding ground for their
Huh?
for their product? Is that just gonna be a holding field for their product?
What I saw in the application, or what I was
Yeah.
told was in the application, was that 54 trucks a day would go out full, 54 trucks a day would come back empty. That's 108 trucks per day, 108 trips per day.
So where's the sand coming from?
They're doing, it's a sand mine, they're gonna be mining for it.
On the Watson property of the C&D?
No, it's
Oh.
not the Watson property, it's right next to it.
Oh,
And when is the meeting? And where is it?
It's Tuesday, it's the Levy County Commission
commission
meeting.
meeting.
And I'm still looking, I just learned about it.
Tuesday evening or daytime, or you don't know what time?
I believe it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, my
I'll let you know
Tuesday tomorrow or Tuesday next week?
next week. But I just learned about it, and I got kind of concerned with all the traffic coming through here. And, it's not ours, but we sit right close to it.
Yeah,
so-
well, the traffic could be ours for sure.
Exactly, and it's gonna be our roads.
Okay, thank
So
you.
I just wanted to make y'all aware of that,
We
and
know where the speed bump should go now on State Road 24.
I wish. But anyway, that's.
Okay, thank you. All right, Vice Mayor?
Two things. I love the idea for Mary Bennett for benefit, for her. So if we do that, I want to be involved in that for one. Two, I did not make it to United Methodist, community dinner. I tried so hard and didn't get home until late and had to get ready for, the pastor's anniversary, my pastor's anniversary, but you guys always do an awesome job. And I said I was gonna have to do the karaoke one time when I go, and I haven't done it yet. So, I'm gonna have to, push my colleague here, and we get up there and do something. Anyway, I also participated at the school carnival. It was fun, and I do have a lot of pictures, and I was supposed to post them. And then the past couple of weeks have been so busy, I totally forgot, so I didn't post the pictures. And yes, we went to the cleanup, and a lot of people after the fact were saying they didn't know anything about it. So question I have, because some of the people don't, well, they say they didn't know about the, what is it we have, Everbridge. So is there a way or something that I could give to them so that they can sign up to get the emails or the text? Because I remember seeing it like several times coming up in the week. So how do we get people?
They can go on our website, and then on the bottom bar, it's, I think, I can't remember what it says. Emergency alerts or emergency something. You click on that, and then you just fill all the fields in, how you want it, text, call, email, or all of the above.
Okay.
And that way they'll get all of them, and you select what events you want to be told about.
Okay.
Yeah, that,
And
it
it's
is on the-
posted out here,
It is
too.
on the water and everywhere else we normally post, but I understand Commissioner Green's comment and the Waste Pro banner and all that. Because, yeah, if they're not in on all
Right.
that, then they don't know what's happening.
Right. But I know that we try to post everywhere. And it is hard to get the word out, for different things. But, thank you. I will pass that information along. That's it.
Okay, thank you. All right, my big event was riding on the bus, getting a brown bag lunch on the 25th, Tuesday to Legislative Day. Not to burden you all, but I'll give you just a summary packet of what the day comprised, going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 visits to representatives in our Senator McLean's office. Let's take one, pass it. These were the League of City, Alachua County League of Cities opposition bills that are still in the works. And just an information sheet on where they're at and the purpose for opposing them as part of our Alachua County League of Cities as we met. The second page of this is just the key legislative issues, a placard card that was given by the league on what our focuses were, so I just copied it for you all. I have a whole booklet of the summary. I won't burden you with what I'll do, Commissioner Vice Mayor Iris, is I'll start it in your box. You can peruse it to the safety of paperwork or whatever.
No.
Look at it, pass it to the next.
So I get the calls every Monday.
Yeah.
And I get the information.
Okay.
I try to pass it to Deanna so that she can pass it to
Pass
you
it on,
guys. So
okay.
I get all of that.
The
through
most
call.
exciting part of the trip not that she was special, but she was, because she was, the end of the day, was not our representative. Chad Johnson is our representative, and he was at an appointment about 2:30 in the afternoon. Yvonne Henson was our last appointment, and you know me, I'm just so non-aggressive as far as my point in talking. But I did want to both our representatives, Yvonne Henson, outside of our area, but very key to the JLAC and the Joint Legislative Auditing Committee that we had concerns about when we notated them, gave them notice in November and hadn't heard anything, as well as the governor's office. I knew she was key to that because she sits on that committee. Both Chad Johnson, Representative Chad Johnson, and Yvonne, both Henson, both asked, well, how's Archer doing? And I gave them our success story of the things that we have accomplished. I did not take over the meeting until our little session we had Micanopy, we had Newberry Representative, Waldo was there, and myself representing us in Archer. And I did pointedly ask her the question. I said, Representative Henson, I said, I know that you still sit as a committee member on the Joint Commission, Legislative Commission on Auditing Committee. And I said, we have both those that sit on the dais with me concerned, not vocally, but I said we have citizens concerned vocally that we haven't heard anything from the JLAC committee. And she said, based on what you've just shared with me, and you all are doing what you're supposed to, and you're answering to your big brother at the county level, and being assessed by them, and your joint meeting with them. Apparently somebody from the county commission had spoken to both our representative, Yvonne Henson, and Chad Johnson. I don't know who it was tonight saying, it was earlier, Miss Lizzie Jenkins said that she had a meeting with him on the 20th and he spoke about Archer. So someone had preempted them before I even started. But Yvonne Henson's the one on that committee that I said, what should we do as a courtesy? Should we write a letter to all of the JLAC members or whatever? And she's quote unquote, so why would you do that? And I said, well, God, this is going somewhere. Okay. And she says, we reviewed it. It was, you did what you were supposed to by statute in November. Why would you take it any further? We're not going to do anything. Now, she could come back and refute what I'm saying and we get busted next week. But I rode real high on the back of the bus with that kind of vote of confidence that she didn't need anything else as a committee member because she knew that we were in a recovery mode. We weren't in total failure and abysmal loss and, ready to give the charter away or whatever. I felt very strongly about that. I do have the other thing is, and I do appreciate y'all for supporting me in this, what I brought from North Central Florida Planning Council about the train commission and Florida, the request for Florida to join that. I know it's probably premature because it's several years out before they consider being on the commission, several more years before we start seeing passenger trains on that rail through the Panhandle to Jacksonville back down the seacoast. But that was her bill. I did not know that. I didn't do all my homework. And when I showed her our resolution that we had just approved and signed it and I had the hard copy, she said, give me that. And she got two of her aides in there and she made lots of copies of that. And apparently she still was going to present her bill. And I just felt very strongly that we had really made a friend as a representative because, one, it was her bill and I didn't know it or whatever, but she listened very well and so did Chad Johnson. So very productive meeting. We did walk away with, you have to have approval from the House and the Senate on any appropriations. We walked away and I had it and got it from Mike New, who now works for Woodard and Curran. He says, well, Archer got approval from the House of Representatives for half of your request of $2.5 million, the $1.25 million. It still has to go through Senate. They've still got the rest of this month and into May before they approve their final budget. So I'm not bragging too big, but then I got the message from Deanna that same afternoon that we were approved for the $13 million. And I said, man, somebody above is really looking after us. So it would be wonderful even if we had the $1.25 million from both House and Senate to prepare us for next year. And it's certainly, not just because Mr. Arnold was saying it this evening, but we are beyond the just, we're still in shovel ready, but we've never been this far with this kind of approval and a capacity that Newberry can already take our capacity. That's the only questions I've had. I don't know if you all have from citizens was saying, but doesn't Newberry have to get theirs to get ours? And no, they've already committed in this regional plan and everything that they put forward, that the reason for their future need for the expansion is because they have afforded us the capacity we need for our phase one, so, of the wastewater system. So, very productive, trip to Tallahassee. Other than that, that's all I have to report. And I thank y'all very much. I have this information if y'all would like to peruse it or whatever, so, for the trip. All right. Last but not least, comment period, second period. Yes, ma'am, please come forward. Let us know who you are. I know who you are, but just for record.
Jennifer Rossi,
All
resident.
right, Ms. Rossi, thank you.
I just wanted to take a minute and invite you all. We do have, I have started a new community outreach program at the church, at the Archer United Methodist. It's actually a paint and praise, and it's on a Friday night. The next one is May 2nd. It's May 2nd at 6 p.m. And we're going to be doing a firefly painting with a mason jar. But I teach the class, and there's praise music that goes while we teach the class, and it lasts about 2 hours. But I just wanted to come up and invite you all to that. Yes, ma'am.
May 2nd.
May 2nd at 6 p.m.
Okay. Thank you.
And if you can reach out to either me or Melissa and let us know, so we could we have an accurate head count of for the night, because I
And
have
if
to
you
have
have any
the
kind of flyer, don't forget about the Trailhead kiosk that's down there, that just get the key from Deanna and team and you can put the flyer there.
Oh.
Because that brings Gainesville to Archer, with all the trail
Okay, yeah,
bikers and stuff, because they're always looking at that. I mean, when I walk that people walk up and I say, this is so embarrassing to see a blank board, so anything
put one
like
in.
that.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Have a nice night.
Thank you so much.
That is funny because me and a couple of my grandbabies were walking the dog and went on the trail, and there were finally flyers up there.
Yeah.
And my granddaughter said, "What is that? Why is it there? What does it say?" And then I told her
When
what
there's nothing
it
on the
was
board, it's
there
just,
for.
it's whiteboard or whatever you call it, like white noise. Mhm. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Skinner.
Hi, Brenda Skinner, resident. I have two quick things. As to the Public Works thing that went for Beautify Archer last Saturday, I put up not just the 12 flyers I was given, but I came back and got another 12. So there were 24 flyers that were put up around town.
Thank you.
And I was down there at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. The only other person there was Steve. I waited 10 minutes and I left because I didn't know what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I went home.
You missed me. I got there like 8:20, 8:30.
Okay, well, like I said, the flyer said 8 to 12. So I was there at 8 o'clock. But that brings me to another point. I had a lot of people say, so what is it? What are you supposed to do? What do they have organized? I said, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm going to show up at 8 o'clock and find out what they want me to do. People don't know what it is. Now, they know that they can put extra trash out on the side of the road, or at least some people do. Not everybody does, because I told some people that that's one of the things they could do. So I think we need to do a better job of telling them what Beautify Archer is, not just a poster. I think we need to get that word out. The other thing I wanted to tell you is that last week I went up Fletcher's Road and was headed towards the church. And I got stuck behind one of the big trucks that was picking up the debris on the side of the road. Okay, that's great. They're picking up debris. A little while later, because I was running around putting signs up, I went up through town, turned and went up by the Presbyterian church. Well, the truck was up there, parked on the wrong side of the road, going up that direction. Had me and another car stopped.
A Waste Pro truck? A garbage truck?
One of the garbage trucks picking up.
Waste Pro.
I think it was Waste Pro.
Yeah, that's who services us.
And they had 3 piles of debris to pick up. So they picked up 2 of them, realized that there were 3 cars waiting for them, and cars coming from the other direction. So they went on off after they picked up 1 pile of trash or debris. The other 2 are still sitting there today. And I watched them go on up and go way up the road when I went up to the stop sign and turned. But the reason I'm bringing this up is we have a contract with this company. And they're supposed to be picking up debris and such around town. But they're riding around. They're not working. They're not picking up the stuff in this town that they should be. And you guys have jobs, you're out doing things, you may not see this, but they're not doing for us what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But I watched these guys, number 1, driving on the wrong side of the road and blocking the road, and number 2, not cleaning up what was right there in front of them. So I thought you'd like to know that.
Thank you very much, Ms. Skinner.
Thank you, Ms. Skinner. I also wanted to say thank you too for passing out the signs. Yeah, because I know that it was a lot of signs posted. Yeah, I think it's people that may work and don't get to Archer until late. At least one of the people that I talked to, that was the case. As far as Saturday, Commissioner White was gonna come, but yeah, after something happened, I did say I can come, but I made it clear that I was not gonna be able to be there the whole time because I had a whole day planned myself. But thank you for even going up there and showing up there. We didn't know what to do either when we got there. So I thought about it because otherwise we were just telling people, okay, put metal here, put trash here. So I was like, hey, ask Steve if he's got paper and tape. I'll make signs. So I made signs and put on all 4 of them because that's just easier. You drive up and then you see where, where things go. Because I felt like I don't even know what I need to be doing. So I do appreciate the fact that you took your time to go up there to try to help us out. Thank you.
And I did go live with it, and we got a lot of comments, and maybe we need to do something like.
We could pick a theme in the past, and this is, I'm thinking of our past mayor that we pay a retirement for. Help me out, guys. Huh?
Sam Clark.
Sam Clark. Sam was instrumental, and he would kind of get a theme going when we used to do the Great American Cleanup. He would actually, I don't know how he did it at the Dias, because I didn't attend all the meetings then, but when you would volunteer, there would already be a quadrant or a street that the city representation was going to take care of, like pick a street. But there was a theme of adopt a street per se for Great American Cleanup. I have in the years past just always, because I'm there, just go from Magnolia, my side, all the way as far as I can go into Holly Hills, just because it's a very tight-knit community, and it used to be bad, and it's gotten better every year, and I compliment that. But there have been years in the past where I got our church, if we had any youth, we'd adopt the street along Bethlehem Presbyterian Church, or we'd adopt Church Street, and so I agree. We just need to have some kind of theme that we start advertising well a month ahead or so.
And they only do it once a year?
Yeah, the Great American Cleanup is a focus one day a year in spring. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Lopez, thank you for that feedback.
I'm so glad this came up, and I'm going to tell you how we did it, along with Sam Clark. We, first of all, we went into different organizations, even here in Archer, in Gainesville, and everywhere, and worked with Keep Alachua County Beautiful. And we organized, in 2001, we had 129 volunteers. We met in the park. We sent out flyers and notices to all these different people. Meet us in the park at 8 o'clock in the morning. Then we gave assignments when they came. They know the address where they were coming. They weren't over here, over there. So they came to this place, and then we would tell them the streets, because they're numbered. And we were focusing in on Holly Hills and other places. But we would tell them what streets we wanted them to focus, the cleaning on. That particular year, and we had the dumpsters and all of that, we picked up 23 tons of trash, and the city of Archer actually got an award. The other thing that we did, we planned lunch. So in our advertisements and flyers sticking out on the streets, and lunch was served at 12 o'clock. So when we finished all of that, we ate. And the food, I think, made them stay around, so they could eat. So I just wanted to pass that on. It
Thank
can
you.
be done.
Yep.
I'll be happy to help you the next time, but I'm not in the mood for cleaning. The only other thing I wanted to mention, and this is real quick, Deanna gave me the okay to clean the bed of plants that's right in front of the community center going down that long sidewalk. So I'm gonna try to get some volunteers, and if anybody wanna help me with that, that's fine. We need motion plants, and maybe we could even change those plants. They're not blooming like they should and like they used to. The bed also have a lot of weeds in it, and I think we need to change the mulch and stuff like that. So if anybody wanna help me with that, they can call me at 352-495-3035. And I'm waiting on other stuff.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay?
Have a nice evening. You gonna bring lunch if we pull weeds?
No.
Oh. I'm kidding you. Go on.
I just wanna mention this thing. I didn't participate in the cleanup this past Saturday because we picked up maybe some tons of trash at the LEC. So that was my contribution to cleaning up the city of Archer. Because we have to clean the cemetery, picking up sticks. We have about 10 bags of those brown bags of leaves out there to be picked up. And by the way, Waste Pro is a partner, and they will.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am, Ms. Robertson.
I'm the Robertson resident. I just want to express my gratitude for Archer Cleanup Day. I had a lot of stuff that would not fit in my car, so I utilized the pickup service.
And they did
came
pick it
and
up?
picked-
They
yeah,
did?
picked
Good.
up everything.
Good.
So I was extremely grateful.
Well, thank you.
I tell you.
Thank you for
Extremely
letting us know
grateful.
that.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Okay, two things before we adjourn. One, there is celebratory payday, homemade bars, since we got our $13 million in the lobby. I can't afford regular payday bars, but those that like payday bars, they're homemade, and it's payday for us in Archer. And number two, but not last, I'm sorry I didn't put them in my report. If any of you all, I think you all at the dais received the WCJB inquiry and kind of demand of getting answers about things. I don't know how you all felt about it. I guess that was Channel 20 in the back tonight. She's not there now. I will say I've never known any of you all to be abrupt with them, other than I did request to stop the misinformation and please get accurate information. If that's being rude, then so be it. The last commentary I saw going on was Vice Mayor Bailey, when you'd had a full interview and it was on the news and you were smiling and looking as pleasant as you can be. So I did answer when she then sent it out to all of us. On an afternoon at 4:35, 7:45, 8 a.m. the next morning, I succinctly answered all those questions in a very polite manner. Deanna has I did CC her. I can't CC you all, but you certainly, Deanna, share it with them, blind or whatever, just so they know. I never heard back from that television manager or whatever, her marketing manager or whatever, as she accused us of being, belligerent to her staff and then not answering questions, and their state statute to that effect. I mean, if you saw, she was treating it like it was public record request. And Deanna, I wasn't trying to usurp your ability to answer, but I do watch her back, and I thought it was more than gruff and abrupt. She said, you should realize that, we're your only local newscaster, and that kind of language. And so I represented Archer well, and I answered the questions succinctly from our Channel 20 reporting manager that felt we were otherwise. And Deanna has that, just so y'all saw my succinct answers given her, and I haven't heard back from her, so I guess we answered everything.
I didn't answer her, I sent it to legal.
Oh, did I send it to you? I don't think I sent
You,
it.
you see, somebody CC'd us, I saw the
Oh, Deanna,
answers.
did you do it? Did you CC legal? Okay.
Yeah, there's no requirement you answer questions. If it was public records request, absolutely, you'd have to produce the
But give me an
documents.
evaluation. I mean, was I appropriate?
No,
and
your answers
courteous?
were succinct and I thought very polite.
And just, you know,
Yeah.
to the point, and
And you answered them,
didn't
yes.
apologize for any actions, because I never saw us do anything but thank them for being here, and other than me saying, please do not put out.
No, I
misinformation.
thought your answers were appropriate and addressed the questions.
All right. With that said, at 8:50, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for attending, and have a safe evening.